it's hard right now. You say you don't wanna stay much longer. Your heart is full right now, but I know this gon' make us stronger. Your love is gone right now, and all the roads can't get much longer. I know it's hard right now, but everything gon' make us stronger. Everything gon' be alright in the morning, and I know you're sick and tired of it slowing down. Let's go. I know the rain is pouring, but I know it's gonna get better in the morning. It's gonna be alright in the morning, and I know you're sick and tired of it slowing down. Let's go. I know the rain is pouring, but I know it's gonna get better in the morning. It's hard right now. I know you don't wanna stay much longer. You seem so far right now, but all of this gon' make us stronger. I know you're gone right now, and all the roads can't get much stronger. But don't let go right now, 'cause everything gon' make us stronger. Everything gon' be alright in the morning. And I know you're sick and tired of the storming. Don't let go. I know the rain is pouring, but I know it's gonna be better in the morning. It's gonna be alright. All right, come on in so we can get started this evening. Don't forget to share and invite your friends. Great evening. Come on in tonight. Let's get started. I believe there's some great nuggets that I need to share with you tonight. So, if you would take a moment and invite your friends in, go ahead and share. Let me know who you are, where you're from, so that we can be on together tonight while sharing this great information. All right. So, if you have not already purchased your ebook, get that. If you already have it, then you can follow along tonight as we share. We're going over the part two. Y'all see my sticky notes, but we're going over part two tonight. And I believe it's great information for you to have. And so I'm going to start with where we left off last week. But I also want you to have this, if you have it, follow through with me so that we can share this evening. Of course, I keep my notes kind of everywhere. So let me know again your name, where you're from, and those of you who are hosting watch parties, thank you. Let's watch together tonight. All right, I'm starting my watch party. I think I go through this every week because when I start the watch party, of course, it ends my music. I don't necessarily, I guess, need music while we converse. So I'll go ahead and start my watch party and just make sure my volume is turned all the way down. All right, so go ahead and let me know your name, where you're from, so that we can share tonight. I'm trying to do this in 30 minutes so that it's impactful, so that we can get kind of in and out the information that we need.
And I believe that there are great tips for us to share, great things for us to share while we're working on becoming better. And so, I've coined all my people better lifers. So we're working on building a better life, period. There are things that I believe that we have learned. There are things that we know that we can share to help others. And that's what I'm here to do. So as you're coming on, don't forget to state your name, where you're from. Go ahead and share, if you will. Invite other people to join in. I'm waving at the people on my watch party tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining in. And again, if you'll share when you hear something that registers with you, don't forget to hit the like button, okay? Don't forget to hit that heart. If there's something, some information I share, hey Shantae, how are you? Happy New Year. Hopefully there's some things that I share with you that are going to be relevant to your journey. And so that as it resonates with you, hit like, hit the love button, and let's share tonight. So I've begun with introducing myself. Of course, I'm talking about the bridge tonight, and it's kind of a healing series, if you will. There are some things and some places in my life that I needed to be healed from. Yes, the PK, yes, the church girl. And I was reading a meme the other day. It was so funny to me because it says sometimes you never know who is like jealous of your little struggle life. And so there are some things that I struggled in significantly that had to do with self-esteem, that had to do with how I value me. Of course, I've shared before that there are some things that my parents didn't, necessarily affirm every day. They were great parents. I can't take that away from them. But like daily affirmations, maybe to say, you can do this, you're smart enough to do that, or you're beautiful. All I was required to do was have A's and have a good name. Okay. And so having the A's and having the good name, that was great, but it didn't really prepare me for some of the things in my teenage years and my adulthood that I needed. I was really, really sheltered. And when I say sheltered, I mean closed off kind of sheltered. And so it taught me a lot of things. It taught me a lot of things. It was great for me at the time growing up, but when I hit real life, it wasn't so great because there were a lot of things that I did not know that I had to find out. And so, somewhere between here to there, I started believing in who I am. I stopped letting people trigger emotional things in me that would throw me into a loop, into a spiral, into a spin in my life. And I had to make a conscious decision that my relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's intimate relationships, would have to be reciprocal. Those are some of the things that we'll talk about, we'll discuss. If you haven't done the 30-day detox, 30-day Better Life detox, I call it the BL detox, you got to go back and do it. Go back and do the BLD. You need it. Like, it surprised me some of the things that I still had to challenge myself to get over, some of the things I still had to challenge myself to walk through. And I'm better for it. I do believe I'm better for it. And so, yeah, I see tonight I'm trying to do this a little different, so I'm gonna have to invest in a few things. But overall, I'm making the effort, and I want to appreciate and thank those of you who make the effort with me each week. So I do have a winner before we move forward from last week. That shared my live video first, and I said, share. You never know what could happen. And so my winner from last week is Christopher Steele. He is a pastor. I just call him Christopher Steele because we're on this live tonight. So, sir, if you would shoot me your address, like inbox it, don't necessarily put it on the live where other people can get your information. But if you inbox me your name, number, I have something to get to you. I do better life things, so it's some better life things headed your way. Okay, so yes, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Hey, Miss Sandra, I guess I can call you that, Miss Sandra. I'm on the live, so you know, Elder Sandra. Hopefully, all is well. So yeah, I had to start investing in me. I realized that I was important in this journey called life. Somewhere along the way, you're going to have to realize that you're important. I did the bridge so that I could help people in the forgiveness area. Some people think that forgiveness is a quick fix, that it's done overnight. Not necessarily so. There are some of us that enter into forgiveness, and it takes us some time to process forgiveness. And one thing I said last week is that we have to learn how to prioritize who we are on our own schedules. Matter of fact, we should have schedules that we include ourselves in. You should be one of the top 5 on your list, period. Every day, every week, when you do goals, you should be at the top of your list. Okay? And so, guess what? We're already like mid January. Can you believe that? Like, it is crazy how time is passing. And so, I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself in the scheme of things with your friends, with your relationships, with your family. Make sure they're reciprocal. Some people will call you whatever, bougie. Some people will call you being funny or what have you. But I believe that God gave you your life to serve a purpose for you, not just for everybody else. And then when we don't do the purposes that we've been placed in the earth for, guess who's going to be held accountable? Not them, we are. And so, yeah, we talked about before last week. I talked about some things, and I'm just going to hit a few of those, and then we're going to move forward about releasing forgiveness over things that you had no control over that may have happened to you in your life, in your childhood. Even some of us, after we've got older, have had to learn how to carefully process things and realize that we're more valuable than some people will give us credit for, that we're more valuable than how some people treat us. And I want you to know that you are a gem. Hey, Pastor Jones, how are you? Happy New Year to you. Yeah, you have to realize that you're a gem. Like, when God created you, he created the best. So there's no, like, and this is what I tell my people, this is what I share with my young people: you're not an accident. I don't care who says what. I don't care if they didn't plan for you. I don't care if you were as the result of something, a one night stand or what have you. I believe that God intentionally purposed your life to be here. I often use Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you, I knew you, and I predestined you to be. And so I believe that for your life, there is a predestination, that God had a desire and a plan for you. We always quote Jeremiah 29:11, and that is serious, that he has a purpose and a plan for your life. And I'm excited about your plan, almost as excited as I am about mine, because it took me years to get to where I am now. Yes, I know. I know how wonderful I am. I know. I'm really joking, in a sense. But yeah, like, it took me years to become confident in who I am. Years ago, I would have never did this. Like, I would have never built an audience around the things that I believe that I'm capable of sharing. And so I want to share with you that you have to go through the processes and learning how to forgive people. You have to learn how to incorporate that same forgiveness to yourself. I'm trying to figure out sometimes why we're so hard on ourselves and we give people chances after chances after chances. What about the chances that belong to you? What about the things and the opportunities that you should be able to enjoy and have in your personal life? So if you already have the ebook, then you already know the 10 affirmations. Get those affirmations in your life. Build daily affirmations that affirm who you are, that affirm your goals, that affirm where you're headed in life. And I believe you are headed somewhere. So let's get to this week. So hopefully you all have shared already, as you're coming in, as you're on live, as you're watching. Invite your friends. Somebody you know needs this. Say it one more time. Somebody you know, if not you, needs this. But I believe there's some nuggets in here for you, because we're all striving to become better. We're all striving to get better. All right, so Bear, I want to talk about honesty about past moments. Honesty about past moments. Many of us go through life and we don't necessarily take a realistic view about past moments. And I wonder sometimes, do we love so hard, because the Bible says sin covers a multitude of faults. I wonder sometimes, do we love so hard that we don't take a realistic look about where we are, about who's in our life, about who we've let in to those places in our lives that should be reserved for people who treat us valuable, like the gifts and the assets we are. I'm not saying we're perfect. Let me hit that right there. Perfect means I'm mature in every area of my life. And that's not necessarily true. That means I am becoming, and when I see something in me that does not push me into the greater self or the image that God created me to be in, then I am working on that area. I am challenging myself to become better. As a matter of fact, I'm challenging myself that the next time the opportunity or the test presents itself, that I'm going to pass it. Okay. And so I want you to get to the place where you begin to pass those tests, like where you begin to knock them out and become better. All right. And so, as being bare, which means as being unmasked, uncovered, let me start with, you can't be unmasked with everybody. Okay. There are some people that will use your challenges, your past, the things that you have been through against you to try to manipulate you into other areas and into other things in your life. So again, you can't share your past with everybody. All right. So if you're listening tonight, go ahead and put in the tagline: reserve some. Reserved. Reserved is fine. Just put reserved, because there are some things that you have to reserve and know when the time it is to release those things. And so for many of us that are givers, many of us that love hard, we love so hard until it leaves nothing in order for us to gain from. And also with being so open around certain people, the perceptions of us are distorted, and then some of them use that as a way to manipulate their way into other areas. All right. And so I want you to start being truthful with yourself first, which means with outside of everybody else, outside of everything else. Start being truthful with you, what has happened to you, the decisions that you've made that you may not have thought were right, or some of the decisions that you made that were not right. And be very honest with yourself and keep that first between you and God. And my challenge this week is for you to take a clear picture of who you are, what you've done or the decisions you've made, and how you're going to move forward. Okay, because sometimes we hide those things and they are necessary for us in our inner person to be healthy. And a lot of us are outwardly, we look great, but we're not healthy inwardly. And so what I want to challenge you to do is to be honest with yourself. Some of us are driven into things that we don't even like to do. Some of us do things because everybody else wants to do it, but when will it be your turn? When will your life serve a greater purpose to you? When will your life benefit you? That's a good question, right? If you're in the timeline and you see this, I want you to type benefits. Okay? You have to understand the benefit you are to yourself, because if you're not living your life, somebody will come along and help you spend your time. Somebody will come along and help you help them live theirs. I'm for real. I'm so for real. Like, people will find things for you to do for them. And then at the end of the day, you have nothing in your reserve, even for yourself. All right, let's be honest. Okay, honest moment. How many of you have ever spent so much time doing things for other people that when you check to see if you've completed your own to-do list, it was left undone? I'll raise that hand. I'll raise my hand first. And so what I want you to get to is a place where you understand that it is not wrong for you to be happy. It is not wrong for you to have your own desires in and of itself, or differentiated from other people. Like, you don't have to fall out with them. You can just clearly say, that's not what I want to do. That doesn't make me happy. And be good with that. And be good with that. I think we've been masked for so long that we cover our expressions until sometimes we become the fake person in the room because we're not being honest about our own feelings. One thing I read today that Bishop Randy Borders had put up, and something that he had said, is that oftentimes we allow people in our circles and in our lives that should not have the right of access. And so when they shouldn't have the right of access, a lot of times we have given our power to people who don't necessarily deserve it. Yes, even in your families. Yes,